Good morning, good afternoon, and or good evening. You're watching Nub's Collection, a YouTube series dedicated to the cataloging and review of every game in my physical media collection. As always, I am your host, Victory Nub, and today we're taking a look at Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Developed and published by LucasArts and released worldwide on May 18th of 1999, exactly one day prior to the release of the film. As the name suggests, Episode 1 Racer is a pod racing game centered around the event featured in The Phantom Menace, in which a young Anakin Skywalker completes a high-speed land race in the deserts of Tatooine in order to win the credits necessary to repair the Naboo capital ship. While the game was obviously built to give movie fans the opportunity to compete in the Boonta Eve Classic as featured in the film, the game expands the concept to feature races all across the Star Wars galaxy and allows players to choose from a variety of racers, both from the film and new characters for the game, each with unique crafts and stats. Gameplay is similar to that of arcade racing games of the time, in which players must complete 3 to 5 laps of a closed-loop track while avoiding collisions with the environment that can damage and eventually destroy the pod racer. Winning races awards players with money that can be used in the game's shop to upgrade their craft with new parts, as well as a junk shop where higher quality parts can be purchased in a damaged state for a reduced price. The ultimate goal of the game is to complete 3 circuits of increasing difficulty, with the first and last races of the entire game featuring the Boonta Eve Classic in simplified and full-sized forms. LucasArts began development on Episode 1 Racer immediately following the release of Shadows of the Empire, basing the gameplay physics on just a handful of short clips from the still-in-development film. The team's goal, according to lead designer John Knowles, was to convey a strong sense of speed. He is quoted as saying that they wanted to make the game feel like an eyeball-peeling racing game where you're going so fast you're just nervous. The nervous feeling was no doubt enhanced by the streaky texturing details and risk of total destruction from head-on collisions with the environment. The game features voiceover work from several of the characters from the film, including Jake Lloyd, Lewis McLeod, Andy Secombe, and Greg Proops. Episode 1 Racer was an astonishing success for LucasArts, selling 3.12 million units across all platforms. Supposedly, I don't have anything to back this, the game holds the record for the best-selling sci-fi racing game of all time. However, that was per a Guinness World Record awarded in 2011, and I don't know if it's still accurate. Regardless, that is a lot of units sold for a game that was only tangentially related to the film. Critically, the game received favorable reviews, with critics lauding the gameplay speed and customization options while panning the undercooked career mode and unimpressive racer AI. Episode 1 Racer would receive a re-release on modern consoles in 2020 with up-resed visuals, a smoother frame rate, and modernized controls. A sequel title, Racer Revenge, was released on the PlayStation 2 in 2002. Physical copies of the 2019 limited run re-release, of Racer Revenge for the PlayStation 4 would become infamous for allowing players to jailbreak PS5 consoles, causing copies to skyrocket in value when the exploit was discovered. So if you didn't get a copy when it was released, you can get a used copy nowadays for the low starting price of about $200. Thankfully, the PS2 copies are relatively cheap to come by. I know because I just picked up a copy the other day for about $20. That's all the notes that I had. Let's go ahead and get it started. All right, so the 3 modes that you have available, free play, you just run single tracks however you want. Time attack is basically you by yourself running a race in order to set the best possible time. We're going to be looking at tournament mode because that is the marquee event in the game. Ooh, look at that densely populated cantina. And a pit droid. That is the most animated character you get in the entire game. All right, so I will do a new one. I am surprised. I didn't know I had actually played any of this. This might have been, when we did the video for the Polymega review. That's why that character is there. We'll just pick a new one. Let's do, we'll do the same name that we used before. Nub. Interesting. So this game is saving progress, unlike half the games that we look at on the channel. For some reason, the console just doesn't save your progress. The racers that I usually use whenever I play this game, and it is one of my favorite racing games of all time. Surprisingly, it is a very good racing game. Anakin is usually a pretty good starting character to pick as, and obviously if you were a kid, you were probably thinking, hey, I'm going to play as Anakin. Eve Endicott, also a good one. There is a character we haven't unlocked yet that I used to use a ton called Bullseye Navwar. He has one of the best sets of stats in the entire game. I think we'll go with, just for fun, we'll do Anakin. So you have 3 different sets of tournament brackets, whatever you want to call them. You have the starter one, amateur. You have semi-pro, which you can only get to after you finished all of the races in the amateur. And then finally, you could do the galactic pod racing tournament, which, as I said before, you start the game with the Boonta Eve Classic, and then you finish with the same race, but they are dramatically different in terms of how they're shaped and how many obstacles you're going to have to face, basically. This one is just kind of a taste, a little teaser. It uses little bits of the track that you may have remembered seeing in the film, but not necessarily all of it. So we'll go ahead and pick that one to start. They have track favorites. I don't know if it affects whether or not that racer does better in the track or not. I think it's just listed because if you see that character in the race course description and you beat the character, they actually unlock them for you to use as a racer going forward. You don't get Sebulba this early. I think you have to beat him 3 times in the game before you actually get to play as Sebulba. And he is special because he has an attack that he can do that no one else can. There is a taunt button. I don't remember which one it is, but if you press that taunt button as Sebulba, he fires like a flamethrower jet out of the side of his vehicle, and it can damage other racers. All right. We'll start a race. We're not going to do anything else yet. The first thing you want to do when you start earning money is buy pit droids. What they do is, in between races, your vehicle accrues damage as you bump into other racers or in walls or crash. The pit droids will focus on one specific part on your craft, whatever is the most damaged, and fix it during the race. So when you come back in, it will be completely fixed, and anything else that is not addressed by the pit droids, which you can buy a maximum of 4, will stay damaged until they address that part next. So obviously, safe driving on the courses will keep your vehicle in tip-top shape, but the best way to upgrade your vehicle quickly is buy junk parts, let the pit droids fix them, and then you can get really high-end quality parts for fairly cheap. Now, let's see if I remember how to drive. It's been a while since I played this. I did pick it up on the remaster version when it came out on modern consoles. It's still fun to play.
The current record holder for this track is Sebulba.
Of course. That is Greg Proops, the announcer. Nope, hit the wrong button. So, yeah, we talked about it when we did the Nubs Collection episode for episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I liked the movie when it came out. I think it's fine. It's not the best Star Wars film, but I don't hate it the way that a lot of people hated the prequel trilogy. In fact, I would say this is probably not the worst of the prequels, not the best. The best is obviously Revenge of the Sith. But yeah, I enjoyed it when it came out. I wasn't one of these people who thought I got ripped off and that George Lucas had lost his sense of what was and wasn't a good film. I liked it quite a bit. All right, so there is a way to go. Whoa, I didn't do that. Okay, maybe I did do that. Ow. Hey! So there is a way to repair damaged parts while you're driving, and I don't remember what the button is. Oh, I found it. Yeah, there it is. You lose speed when you do that, though. And I don't think it fully repairs anything. It just fixes, like, anything that's in the red and brings it up to yellow. There also is a speed, like a boost mode that you can activate, but it causes the engines to overheat. If you do it for too long, they'll catch on fire and your craft will explode, so you don't want to overuse it. But basically, you have to, like, overcharge the engines and then hit the thruster button. So you can see the bar charging up there, and then you hit A, and then it goes way faster. I usually saved it for straightaways, though, because doing it in curves is just a guarantee that you're going to crash. Again, this is the training level, so they don't expect you to do super good here. Oh, nope, didn't do it. I usually did it on the straightaway going into the final stretch of the track here, so... Oh, and you also have to do it while you're at speed, like at max speed. And I botched. Go. Here's a good spot to do it, because you can basically do it on a nice flat straightaway. This isn't a bad spot either. We're doing really good because it's the intro track. I haven't crashed yet, and the game's trying to ease you into the pace of racing. You tend to lose place much more quickly when you crash than any other way. This game, thankfully, not guilty of extensive rubber banding. We just did the episode for Road Rash 64 last week. That game is extremely guilty of rubber banding. You won't find that here. If the racers are keeping up with you, it's probably because you have not upgraded your vehicle recently. The upgrades actually make a difference. Yes, I just hit the wall there. This is going to be bad. Yeah, it's all right. We're doing all right. Go ahead and do the repair real quick.
Come on, work!
See, my vehicle's losing some speed here. Also, yeah, I think you don't actually do any repair unless your vehicle is damaged to a certain extent. You can't just touch up parts that are a little bit damaged. All right. I didn't mention up at the top, but this game does have upgrades thanks to the expansion pack. So it is just a tiny bit better looking. I mean, obviously it's an N64 game, so they were about as good looking as, well, yeah. Do I go into the race to see? Yeah, so if we finish this race in first, you'll get access to the character Tinto Pagales. Let's go to the shop. So you can just buy parts straight up if you have the money for them by going in here. I think he changes what he sells every time you come in here. And when you buy parts, you trade what you have already and get better, to get a better deal. So you're not buying something and then throwing out whatever you already had on your vehicle. This would be an upgrade. It's a Mark III brake versus a Mark II brake. We're not going to do that.
No deal.
And obviously they show you in the bottom what each part is going to improve for you when you buy it. A plug 3 plus a thrust coil will increase the top speed. I guarantee you it's going to be expensive. Not as bad as I would have thought. But with the trade-in, it would improve the vehicle's top speed pretty extensively. Acceleration is a more important thing for me, though. So if you don't like these, you don't have to get them. You can go to the junkyard and probably find even better parts for cheap as long as you get them in really bad shape. So like this here, you can see the bar right next to the image on the left is down like 30% or so much. And if I trade it in, it improves the turning pretty considerably, and I'm paying barely anything. I'm paying like $295. Let's see what else they got. Dual power cell improves yeah, I could trade it in, and I would get $13, or I'd pay $13 for it damaged. This is the same air brake we saw before. They'll give me money to take this. That's how good it is. I think we'll do that, because we don't really use brakes. I don't use brakes at all in this game. So, I don't know, what are you doing? Oh, I already bought it. All right. Yeah. Like 3 plus, so that was the part we saw in the shop. We could get it for just a little bit less, and it'll be damaged. The only thing you got to keep in mind is if you're crashing in the race, you're probably damaging those parts. And if they're completely damaged, I don't think they give you any boost whatsoever.
You race pretty good, no doubts there, huh?
Nice, but very expensive. Action. So we may end up getting a whole bunch of these parts, but as I mentioned before, one of the things you got to do is you got to buy Petroids. They're like 500, or is it 1,000? Oh, they're 1,000. Ooh, expensive. You can buy 4 of them.
They help you fix your
So we'll buy that.
podracer, you know.
We'll back out. And we will go back to the junkyard and see what we can get real quick for cheap.
You'll not find a
Turning
better
good.
deal anywhere, I think, huh?
We can get it for cheap.
Outlanders, they come here. How do they
What
find
was the
me?
cost on that part?
They come here.
13 bucks, yeah, why not?
My store. Hey.
A lot of these are not going to get fixed, simply because we can't,
Outlanders,
we don't have the money for it. Can't do anything there.
They come here, they mess up my store.
No, can't do anything there. Cooling, that was way too expensive. Yeah. Traction? What's the traction going to cost me? Ooh. Why is he offering me to look at his chance cube? He's a pervert. Why is he talking like that to Anakin? Not your slave, bro? They did use licensed music from the movies in the game. Not all of it was from episode 1. They used what they had access to when the game came out, obviously.
Look at the size of those engines.
Why are you staring at my engines, bro? Go. I didn't hit it at the right time. If you hit it at exactly the right time, you do get a speed boost, but I don't remember when you got to do it. I think it's like right before it starts. But we are already roasting them. The nice thing about these tracks is they do have alternating paths, so you can take different ones that might be a little bit faster or might be a little bit safer. You don't always have to follow the same path every time. And in fact, in some races, they actually open and close certain parts of the track as part of just kind of like a gimmick of keeping things fresh. You'd have to watch out for some doors that will close in front of you if you're not careful and cause you to crash. I am already lapping someone. I don't think any of the parts that we picked up that are of lesser damage than the most damaged part are going to be addressed here. I think they're only going to fix one part, and the rest of them will just stay damaged until the pit droid gets around to fixing them. Whoa! Yee! I think the third track always, or the third lap of, or not the third, but the final lap of every track always plays the same song from episode 1, which was when Anakin was in danger in the last lap of the race in the movie, and he had to do some stuff in order to, like, keep the engine from overheating or catching on fire or whatever. We get a new racer as a result. They'll always show you the new racer as soon as you finish the race, so we get that character, whatever his name was. Yeah, one of the things that I always found odd about the characters that they feature in at least the race here is they're all scaly lizard-like creatures. There's absolutely no fur on a single one of these characters. Look at that. And that one on the bottom just looks like a very bad claymation character. All right, anyway. Ando Prime. I don't know if any of these places existed in the Star Wars universe prior to the making of the film. I'm sure it's one of those things where if you go to, like, the Clone Wars, they probably used all of these planets in some fashion. It's one of those things where if they had a planet that was mentioned at any point prior to the existence of the Clone Wars TV series, obviously, they decided to just go ahead and throw it in there and make it canon. All right, let's see what we can afford now. We want another pit droid. We can afford another pit droid. Back out. Go to the junkyard. I always go to the junkyard. I prefer to buy the parts cheap because I can rely on a pit droid to fix them for me. Absolutely not. Too expensive.
You cannot beat Sebulba.
What about turning?
He
Too
always
expensive.
wins.
Even small upgrades tend to make a big difference if you can get them for cheap. Even better. Yeah, buy it. Easy call there. Ooh. It is better. Let's do it. Bye.
They come here. How do they find me?
What is this? Probably same part, right? Oh, no. It is. It is better. And it's cheap, so let's buy it. This is the best way to get better parts. Don't buy them full price at the repair or the the shop in-game. Buy them from the junkyard. Look at this. We're getting, I think this is a better piece than what I already had, and I'm paying $8 for it. And we already checked that one. All right, we're out. Back out. Now, if you choose another racer, I don't know if the parts carry over. I think they do. I'm not 100% on that. They also don't have unique parts for every single craft. It's the same parts, regardless of what you're driving. Does that make sense? No. Did they address that in Racer Revenge? I don't think so. All right, let's see if we can get the boost correct this time. I think it's right before it starts, so it's right here. I got it. Woo! I know it's an ongoing theme that I'm terrible at racing games on this channel. I think it just depends on the kind of racing game. Sometimes I am terrible, sometimes I'm the best. This one I'm pretty damn good at. Why did I say anything? That's all right, we're gonna win. Don't worry. Might have a couple more damaged parts than I was hoping for. Don't touch. I don't worry too much about boosting when you get to the more complicated tracks where it's hard to tell where you'd be able to do it safely. Oh, see, this one would be a bad one to do because the track isn't perfectly straight. There is a thing I haven't done yet, and I don't know if I can do it. I'm gonna crash. I'm dead. That should have killed Anakin, but of course it's a video game. There is something I hadn't done yet. It doesn't really have a ton of use, but I suppose there's some areas where it could help you. You can actually figure it out. Nope. Maybe you gotta hit the C buttons. There it is. You can turn your engine sideways to narrow your profile when you're going through a gap. How often are you going to do that? Not very. You don't have to do it very much. Now you can see the track split in threes there if you wanted to take a different path other than the straightforward one. Yeah! Whoa! Hey! I don't like this. I don't like this. No, no, no! God! That hurts. Oh, my craft is taking a beating. You know, it figures. I said something about how great I was at this game, but then I start crashing like crazy in the very race that I say that in. But, important to note, I'm still in first place. And I just had a new lap record after crashing 3 times. What does that tell you about all the other racers? And the race tracks do get progressively longer. I think the last one takes you like 3 minutes. The Boonta Eve to get through 1 lap. I am using my N64 Polymega controller to play this. Thankfully, does not put the thumbstick on this weird, like, middle spoke. The controller is not shaped exactly like an N64. It has only 2 spokes. Uh-oh. Careful. Oh, God. All right. We're not all right. Get through the gap. No, too much. All right. We're still first. I don't know if you have to actually go through those. I think they're more suggestions than anything else. Add a little speed. Engine's all right. All right, where will that go? They do give you a temperature warning to let you know when your vehicle's getting close to overheating. That is the cooling system that you're adding to it. Basically extends how long you can run those turbo thrusters during a race. Ooh. Gee, God. I will say this, and I don't know... Oh, God. All right. I'll let go of the thrust just in time. One of the things I think this game doesn't do great, and this is something that I would definitely say is in the bad, is the fact that the racing is so fast, and the rubber banding is so non-existent that you do tend to spend a lot of the track without, or a lot of the time racing without seeing a single other racer. The only time you'll ever see them is when they're passing you after you crash, or you're passing them by lapping them because your vehicle is doing so much better. So I do think that is bad. And you usually can see on the grid in the top right, the little map, when someone's about to catch up to you. And there's nobody near me right now, so I am not in danger of getting past. The only chance that would happen is if I crashed a couple of times or just took my hand off the accelerator, basically. Stay straight. Stay straight! That's not straight at all. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Do some repairs. All right. All right, there are some people catching up now. Very faint, but there is a yellow dot on the track behind me, so. There is at least one track that I can think of where if you have not been aggressively upgrading your vehicle's speed, it will affect your ability to complete the track because it has a jump. And you can loft your vehicle in this game. You can absolutely, like, hold down on the thumbstick to kind of guide it up in the air. But I don't know if it works if you have not made any upgrades to your speed. You may end up just crashing the wall anyway. Now, thankfully, they do push you ahead a little bit on the track when that happens, but it's kind of a reminder that, hey, you need to be upgrading your vehicle. And first place. That easy, baby! And we get another racer. You tend to get the majority of the racers up front at the very beginning of the game. And then towards the end, you'll start seeing some track favorites that were racers you already had available to you, and you won't get anything for finishing in first on those. Yeah, look at this. Going in order from the top, you have Alligator Man, another Alligator Man, Triclops, Triceratops, Blue Alien, weird-looking, I don't know, iguana guy, another alligator, space alien guy, fish man, bird man, and an octopus. There's not 1 ounce of fur on any of those characters. No tufts, no nothing. All right, so let us buy another pit droid. Every time. You want one every time. Start early, because that way you can get more upgrades and you can max out your vehicle very quickly. Once you have the best possible parts, the races tend to be more about just don't crash instead of beating the opposition in the race. And I think you can look at your craft's status. It's probably going to be pretty rough right now because... Oh, no, you can't. I thought there was a way you could check it. Maybe you just find it in the shop. Vehicle upgrades. Yeah, there you go. All right, so we took a ton of damage to the turning in that race. I don't have brakes anymore. But we do have 3 pit droids. So what they're going to do is they're going to focus, and I think you can see them working on the specific parts, actually. They're going to focus on, obviously, fixing the brakes, fixing the turn part, and then the power cell. That's only if I keep the parts as is. If I buy new parts, they'll actually fix the worst ones out of those. So, for example, and the condition of the parts affects what you're going to get back in the trade-in if you go to the shop or to the junkyard.
You'll not find a better deal anywhere, I think, huh?
So this would probably be a... It is an upgrade. And it's in better shape. Let's see what the top speed part is. Plug 8. Very expensive. Oof, very expensive. And that's damaged. I have a fully functional plug 3 shift coil, thrust coil, whatever it is. But that would be a huge upgrade for your top speed. Brakes. It's the exact same part, but less damaged. Basically. Coolant. Again, only really helpful against, or when you're running your engine by doing the turbo thrust. Repair, only valuable if you're actually repairing stuff during the race instead of crashing nonstop. It is better. Back up. Traction would be really important in the race that we were just running in, actually. This may be the best way to go right here, because you could see very expensive part, better than the one we have, very damaged, so we only get a tiny boost, but we're paying so little for it that once it gets repaired, it's going to be a huge difference maker. So we'll take that. See what the turning part was again. I can't afford anything else now. Yeah, I'm too low in price, or too low in money. All right, let's go. I love this game. We just looked at 2 racing games back to back, and I'm going to say good things about this one too, but this one's actually going to get a... I didn't hit the button at the right time. A better score, because I do think this is a better experience overall. It's not without its problems, but I think this is just a more polished experience than Road Rash 64 was. Whee! So that's where you could hold up on the thumbstick to kind of loft your vehicle a little bit when you catch air. Which makes sense. I mean, technically, you're just using 2 jet engines that are tethered to a craft that I'm sure is using aerodynamics to float. It's not like this vehicle has any special... There's a situation where the doors will close on you. You're not using any special anti-grav technology to make the craft float, as far as I know. Now, if you go back and watch episode 1, you'll probably find that the craft floats anyway, and I'm just pulling things out of my ass. That door changes as well, I think. Maybe not in this run, because you do see some new tracks, or you see some repeated tracks later in the game, but they have new configurations or new paths that you have to take. And this is absolutely one of the ones that you'll see a second or third time during the gameplay. Not a ton of tracks. Not a ton of tracks. All right, we gotta turn. Hup! Yeah, the thing about braking is I tend to just take my foot off the accelerator instead of hitting a brake button. And that's, I mean, name your game. That's how I always race. I don't want to frickin' hit the brakes during a race. I want to go as fast as possible and, like, ride the walls if I have to go around a turn. That's how I do it in real life, too. That's why my car is so damaged. Whee! There, I lofted a little bit. Does not lower the impact on your vehicle when you come back down to the ground. You always hear that ka-chunk. Doing all right. Again, there are 12 other racers going on in the, or 12 other racers in this race, and I'm probably not going to see a single one of them unless I crash, which I'm hoping doesn't happen because I want to fix some parts and then turn around and buy some more in the junkyard. After this, we should have the final of the pit droids that we can purchase, and then we should be able to focus purely on buying new parts or junkyard parts going forward for the rest of the races that we look at. Might be a good time to repair. Nope, we're all right. Yellowish green, you can't fix it. Yellow, I think you can fix. If it gets to red, obviously, you desperately need to fix it. We're gonna go left this time. Cool. Yee! Whoa! Oh! Oh, God! I will say... Oh, we gotta fix. Definitely gotta fix right now. And we're fixing the other engine.
It's working!
Alright, we're done. The N64, whether it's something that I have noticed or had always been the case, seems to be the console of choice for racing games in this particular console generation. And I realize how ridiculous that is to say, considering that Wipeout and Jet Moto and did I say Gran Turismo? Yeah, Gran Turismo all came out on the PlayStation. But when I look at the catalog of games I picked up for Rental Regret and the, I was kind of using like best of lists to figure out which, oh God. And when I was looking at the best of lists for the N64 and PlayStation to help figure out what games I wanted to pick up for the Rental Regrets episodes we're going to look at, an inordinate number of games on the N64 that were on the best of lists were racing games. There was some on the PlayStation, but the PlayStation had so many genres and types of games that they did so well that it kind of flooded the list and wiped out whatever you would have seen as racing games to pick up on the PlayStation. That's not to say that there weren't any on there. Gran Turismo, of course, always will appear on best of lists because it's such a polished sim experience. I even have several of them that we will look at as part of Nup's collection. But the N64, you look down the list, there are a ton of games that appear on there that are racing games. Cruisin' USA, Beetle Adventure Racing, Extreme G, this game. There's a huge list of games. San Francisco Rush. I've picked up a bunch of those games. And I don't know if they were all exclusive to the N64 or because it was such a thin library, they appear more often on best of lists, but that's just kind of the way that things shook out. And we do have a bunch of racing games to look at on the N64. I don't know if I've picked up that many on the PlayStation 1. I think I had the ones that I really wanted to look at, and I'll reevaluate and see if there are some that we could add to the mix, but this one absolutely is one of my favorites on the N64. More strange-looking hairless aliens on the list. Space is cold. Why aren't we seeing any hairy aliens? Are the Wookiees the only ones that have hair? All right, let's look at the vehicle upgrades and see how we're doing. I didn't crash, I don't think. Yeah, so they fixed some parts. Obviously, again, the more parts that they have to fix, the less of them will be repaired if they do all their work fixing the lowest tier ones. If all of them are damaged, they're probably only going to get to some of them. All right, back out. So I do have, yeah, all 4 of the Pitroids purchased, it looks like. Because I can't buy anymore. We'll go to the junkyard. Or maybe it's only 3. I don't know. I know you can buy multiple. I thought it was 4. Maybe it's only 3 Pitroids you can get. That would be an upgrade. Cooling. Let's see what we can get for acceleration or top speed. Those are the most important ones. And turning. Turning is very important as well. Acceleration.
Pretty good, no doubts there.
That is a better part, but it's also way too expensive. Top speed, we're not going to be able to afford that.
Why nobody buys?
Traction, it is... I think it's a worse part. That's why you're going to get money if you buy the part instead of the one that you already have. Repair... It is better, but I can't afford it. Damn, why does he want us to look at his chance cube, dude? You're talking to a kid like that. Take it easy, bro. Better part, and we only pay 33 bucks. Absolutely. Buy it up. Air brake, probably better? Nah, it's better because it's the same part and it's in better condition. We're not going to waste the money on that. If you're buying a part at all, buy a better part, but in worse condition so you can get something out of the trade.
You cannot beat Sebulba.
Nothing. All right, yeah, I think we already peeked at him, but we'll look at everything one more time just to see if there was anything we could do. That wasn't the parts I was really looking for. Too expensive. What's this? Yeah, we'll buy that. We just swapped that, right? 60. Yeah, we just swapped that. All right, we're good. Now, we could also just go to the regular shop and buy any parts that we've unlocked up to that point. And I think you can roll through every available piece here. So you see what the most expensive are going to be. And yes, you do see Jar Jar standing there. Thankfully, he does not somehow have a pod racer that you would have to include him in the game for. Yeah, we're not going to worry about all this. All right, let's go ahead and get the next race started. I want to finish at least the amateur circuit before the end of the episode here. All right. Right here. No, I didn't go in time. Speed up. No, we didn't have enough time. He called me a booba. Teach him. It's a stink cloud. What the hell was that? Oh, you know what? I was joking. These really do look like stink clouds. Nope, don't do it there. I could see the bend, and I was like, oh, that's a bad spot to boost. I hate to say it. This is the kind of game that gives you the option to use a turbo boost, but it requires you to charge up so long that by the time you actually can engage it, it's not safe to do it anymore. And I think that was a mistake. I get it. Oh, here we go. So if you have not upgraded your top speed at any point during the game, you may miss that jump. And I did just crash. Damn it. Well, my craft just got damaged. Oh, we got past. Nothing to fix. The repair is basically activated by holding the right shoulder button. And you can check to see if there's anything to fix by pressing the button, and nothing will happen if there isn't a damaged part, or a part that's damaged enough. If there is something to fix, you slow your vehicle down while you're doing the repairs. The way they kind of make that work in a logical sense is they kind of treat it like it happened in the film, where Anakin had to close the vents on the side of his engines, which basically slowed the vehicle down to a stop, or almost to a stop, in order to put out fire. And it kind of functions the same way in the game here. Not exactly the same, but kind of. Oh, God. Might have to fix something. Nope, we're good. There's that stink cloud again. I think it's these big fly... I just crashed. I think it's those dragonflies are farting. Uh-oh. Okay, we're good. I let go of the gas. Oh boy, we're losing place fast here. The first time that the other racers are really putting up a serious challenge, but I will pass them. Kiss my ass. There's a taunt button. I don't remember what it is. And I think you can look backwards. Yes, you can. Why would you want to do that ever? I don't know. All right, and hold up and go. Oh, God, I crashed. Damn it. I was hoping I'd get ahead of the first place guy, and I just lost. Well, my vehicle's definitely going to be wrecked a bunch when we get done with this race, because I've crashed 3 times now. Every time you crash, I think they choose a random part to damage as a result. So you don't want to crash if you can help it. What I like about this game is it's not... Oh, I crashed. Oh, whatever. Yeah, we're definitely not getting first place this time. Unless I can get a straightaway and hit the... Not here. Oh, boy. You idiot. Oh, boy. Not good. Not good. Kiss my ass. Didn't even place! We'll probably have to redo that race. Uh-oh. Game didn't know what to tell me. Yeah, see, I think you could redo them as much as you want in order to get the first place finish. Don't know if you get money after you've completed the race. I think you have to get... you have to finish in the top 3 to get money, but I may be wrong. Let's see what I have in cash right now. Zoom in. I got some money. A little bit.
You cannot beat Sebulba. He always wins.
Is this? No, it isn't. Oh, what's my status? How we looking? It's gonna be bad. Oh, actually, not too bad. You can see they fixed a bunch of parts. They fixed my turning part, which is the top right there. And the engine's in the best possible condition. Acceleration, brakes, and whatever the top left is, I don't know what that is, all need to be fixed. But in the next race, provided I don't crash a bunch, they will absolutely fix those pieces for me. So, oh, we can look at them specifically. That's the brakes. That's the acceleration. Traction. Okay. Not too worried about that. We don't go over a ton of courses that have really bad traction, so it'll help you turn a little bit better, but not as much as better turning. Let's see what we got in the parts here. Cooling. Whoa, too expensive. If you don't like the parts that they offer when you come to the junk shop, I think you can actually reload it and new parts will come in. I'll have to check. No. And no way I can afford this one. Yeah, not a chance. Be nice if they had a really wrecked piece that we could pick up. Nope. I don't think I can afford any of these. That's the same part we already looked at before. All right, so here's what we'll do. We'll go to... We'll inspect vehicle. Then we'll go back to the junkyard, and we should see new parts. If I understand right. It's been a while. Oh, maybe we don't. Maybe we go to the shop? And now go to the junkyard. And? No, same parts. Whatever. We'll go and do the race again. Yeah. Nope, didn't get it again. I think it's because I was jamming on the A button, which is the accelerator. Kiss my ass. Kiss my poodoo, or whatever ass is in, what do they speak? Arabesh? No, they, in this universe, English is considered galactic basic. Arabesh is the written language. Why do I know that? I don't know. I just do. Whoop! Oi! Oi! Okay, loft it. Ah, made it. Oh boy, I hate that. I hate that jump. All right, slow down, slow down, slow down. I didn't slow down. Okay, so it's not yellow dots. You can see they're X's. That's right. Stop hitting things, idiot. Nothing to repair yet. Yet. Okay. I don't know if this was the case in the movie, but I love that there's little, like, control fins on the side of the actual, like, body of the craft where Anakin's sitting. That will, I guess, cause it to turn, and they just kind of flap out sideways when you want them to pivot. Ow, ow. I didn't have to do that. Oh, God. All right. Nothing to fix. Something you absolutely want to get in the habit of doing when you're playing this one is just jam on the repair button periodically to make sure that your craft's in good shape. So you never know when you're going to have to do something. I just crashed. All right, am I getting caught up too? No. A little bit. All right, we're fine. This is the kind of game where the turns start getting sharper and your craft starts getting so fast that navigating the turn safely becomes a little bit trickier. Okay, B is the brake button. How often will I use the brake button? Probably never, but I know where it is now. Okay, easy. Add a little bit of boost. No. All right, we're fine. I thought I had a wall coming up there. Oh, God. This would have been a good spot to hit it. Yep. All right. Brake. There we go. Well, kind of did it right. But we are in first. That's the important part. Done. I'm the best, baby.
Record.
I said Greg Proops was in here. I don't remember what the other guy's name is. The guy that because it's like a two-headed alien that calls the race in the movie. And there's another guy who plays the head of the alien that doesn't speak English at any point. He just speaks whatever it is. Huttese. All right, well, we'll do the last two races and then we'll go ahead and call it. I think there's a special circuit that opens when you finish each of the 3 regular circuits, and it's just like extra races that are really tough. But they give you a really good racer if you actually beat them. Yeah, we'll pick that one. Let's see how much money we got.
You break or you buy, huh?
Yeah, see, if you got... Damn it, I should have just let another racer pass me. I got 4th place, so I only earned $100 in that one race. But I went back and ran it again and got no money as a result. So you have to do really good if you're going to place it all. If you don't, you don't get more money when you repeat those races. Again, quit being creepy. You're talking to a kid, dude. Would you like to look at my chance cube?
They no buy. Why nobody buy?
That is a better part.
I
think I'll do that. That is not a better part. That is the worst part.
Have you seen my chance cube?
Quit trying to show a kid your balls, dude. No, not funny. Stop laughing.
They come here, they look around, they no buy. Why nobody buy?
I don't think this is a better part. Well,
Have you seen my chance cube?
I don't know.
Have you seen...
Tell you what we could do. Tell you what we could do. We can go to the shop. We can check the parts and see where that one sits.
Wanna meet the choboda?
Damn. All right. Go to the part shop.
You buy, huh?
So it was a cluster thing.
Again, huh? Have you
Where was it?
seen
Right here?
my chance cube?
So that is the best repair bit that you can get, the repair module. Let's go back to it right here. This is the best repair module you can get in the game. And if I buy it damaged and trade in the one that I currently have, I get $36 back. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You have to do that. And it made a tiny bit of difference in the repair. This is where you're really starting to see the expensive parts, though, is acceleration and top speed. That's where the really hard to find parts are going to be. For cheap, at least. Cooling, this was worse. All right, so let's back up. All right, let's see how my parts are doing after that last race, because we did pretty good. I don't know if we crashed but one time, maybe. So you can see 4 parts that need to be fixed. They will probably, because I thought it was 4 droids, but I guess you only have 3. Yeah, they'll fix the brakes, the repair coil, and the traction, which apparently is always damaged. Jesus. And everything else will be left for the next race, basically. Got it! I'll say this. Jake Lloyd didn't have a lot of acting parts after the episode 1 debacle, when basically he was bullied in school for being a kid that everyone hated. At least he got paid for doing some voice work for a video game that he probably never played. Okay. All right. We're doing all right. We're not doing all right. Fix that part. Yeah. I have to fix my craft. Woo! Oh boy. Oh god, it's starting to get a little bit hard to do that safely. Repair the part. Oh god. There is a part right here where it goes anti-gravity. It's not easy. Because the controls are upside down, because, again, everyone thinks that you want to... Oh, okay. You want to drive a frickin' airplane when you're on a land... in land crafts or first-person shooters. I'm dead. Crunch. Oh, God. Too much whipping around and spinning and stuff. Oh, God, I hit the wall. Damn it. Oh, boy. All right, we're back on solid ground. The game does crash other racers, which is good. It's not just your ineptitude and drive. That asshole crashed me. I think there's a 0% chance that I'm going to have anything working when we finish this race. Thankfully, I don't think there's a limit on how many times you can crash. It's just going to damage your parts continually until everything's broken. This would have been a good spot to boost. Okay. Easy. Damn it! Oh, that's a blind turn. You can't see where the wall is when you get to it.
Come on, work!
Not doing so great on this race. Alright now. Alright. I am not gaining on the opposition, though. That's a bad sign. Probably not going to finish this one in a place that'll allow us to move on. Oh. Ah, damn it! Oh, we're doing terrible. Thankfully, when you come back from a crash, your parts that you can repair during the race are all fixed to an extent. Oh, God! What are you hanging about? That part flipped because of some dick behind the wheel. It's not another racer who did that. Don't hit that. Oh, God! Turn. Ah, I hit the wall. Damn it. Yeah, this is not great. We're absolutely not placing on this one. No money, no nothing. Yep. Unfortunately, if I had to guess, my vehicle has taken damage to the engine, which is why we're having a hard time catching back up to the pack.
It's a new lap record.
That was a lap record. I'm in 6th. Okay, I'm done. I crashed in the wall. It's like I got a boost. I'm losing. We gotta roll the dice. Oh, not here. Oh, God. Wizard Annie. Oh, God. Don't flip. Thank you. Oh, it's starting to get chaotic. Now, suffice it to say, I have beaten the game. And if you're dedicated, you can do it very quickly. You can beat the entire game, I'd say, in about 5-6 hours. Not a very long game. You saw how many tracks there are on each of the circuits. I think it's 7 in total. So 21 races is all it takes to beat the career mode. Not the longest game in the world. That said, the tracks get harder and it becomes more difficult to finish them in first place, or at least placing so that you can continue to the next one. Obviously, it's not just the top 3, it's actually the top 4. I'm dead. I was catching up and I crashed. Damn it. I don't want to finish it last at this point. That's all I'm caring about at this point. I'm not going to finish in first. Just don't let me be last. I'd be happy with 6th. I won't get any money for it, but it's a personal pride thing. I'm not going to do it. There we go. Yeah, whatever, buddy. Next time, don't crash 18 times. I don't think getting a smaller profile vehicle is necessarily going to keep you safe during any of those races. You really do just have to slow down if things are getting too chaotic, which is bad because other racers can catch up to you. But again, upgrading your vehicle is critical to keeping up in each of those races. All right, so I was hoping to finish all the races in this run, but I think we'll go ahead and call it there so that we can do the final review for the game. It's still fun. There are certainly problems with it, and we'll go into those when we're doing the review phase. But I think this is a very capable and competent arcade racer. Again, if you're looking for something more nuanced, where you're really scrutinizing each individual tweak and upgrade for the craft, you're playing the wrong game. This was built for kids to play, and it is simple enough for them to understand and grasp, while also being fun for someone who's a little bit older and can appreciate the value of going through the junkyard to do your upgrades for your crafts. All right, let's go ahead and do the review phase. We'll go ahead and do a round of the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good is that the developers set out to create a racing game with an extreme, scary sense of speed, and thanks to a combination of actual craft velocity and streaking texture details, they succeeded. Early tracks give you a taste of the speed with relatively little danger, but the more challenging runs will test your ability to maneuver sharper turns while maintaining as much speed as possible. And the game absolutely leans into the danger aspect of pod racing by making your vehicle susceptible to crashes. Taking too much damage over time without repairs, or colliding with a wall, obstacle, or even another racer can and will destroy your craft. So while you should be striving to go as fast as possible, if you aren't running a clean race, you will crash and possibly lose, as we saw in the last race that I did. The game leverages the wonderfully diverse environments of the Star Wars universe to come up with some very unique tracks. While the opportunity to run the Boonta Eve race was obviously a major selling point for the game, you get tracks in swampy environments, mines, neon-lit urban areas, volcanoes, at least one extremely dangerous high-altitude track that we didn't get to see today, and one that even sends racers through a series of anti-grav tunnels. If running a desert canyon seems boring to you, they had more than enough variety to keep things fresh. The game smartly gives players multiple racers to choose from, not just Anakin, although his stats do seem to be a bit better than most of the field. The various versions of the pod race scene in the movie introduced a large number of racers, and you see pretty much all of them in the game. Regrettably, you can't select Sebulba as your racer until near the end of the game, but they did that because he possesses the one and only offensive weapon in the game, so that kind of makes sense. The part system is extremely well handled in this game. All of the pod racers can be upgraded from a single pool of parts covering every stat, and they implemented a damage system where collisions in each race affect the condition of your parts. You can repair these parts with a group of pit droids that you can purchase once, and then they remain with you for the rest of the campaign. If you cannot afford the parts in the shop, the game smartly implemented a junkyard where you can find parts of varying quality that are damaged, giving players a chance to acquire some great parts for cheap, provided you race clean enough for your pit droids to repair them. This, along with the collision system, does a great job of incentivizing players to race carefully, as you stand to benefit greatly by completing races with a minimum of reckless behavior. The game features no rubber banding whatsoever. If you're in the lead in a race, you won't find the enemy suddenly gaining on you to keep the race tight. Similarly, if you crash too many times, the other racers will pass you and the game isn't going to throttle their speed to let you catch up. Your best bets to win a race are to make regular part upgrades and drive clean. This is how good racing games are made. Don't coddle the player if they can't keep up. That kind of stuff belongs in kart racing games. That's not what this one was. As far as the bad, the difficulty balance and the lack of rubber banding, yes, we're going right back to that, both mean that you'll spend an inordinate amount of each race by yourself. The length of the tracks combined with the high overall craft speed result in a lot of time spent racing alone. which can take some of the tension away. If you do crash, you'll often notice that racers pass you on the map, and it happens so fast that you barely see them when it happens. Again, this is a result of the absence of rubber banding, but it does mean that you'll feel like you're running a time trial at times instead of an actual race. The audio in this game leaves a lot to be desired. The use of music from the films is limited to what was available at the time, which was mainly original trilogy tracks, and they're mostly used in 2 to 3 second snippets to introduce each race course. One important note there is that was mainly the case for the N64 version of the game. If you actually played the PC version, it had extended cutscenes to introduce new worlds where they actually had a little bit longer section of music that played at the beginning of those levels. I'm not saying that the original trilogy had bad music, but this is a game based on Episode 1. That's probably where the lion's share of music should have come from. In addition, because the game is on an N64 cart, the music had to be heavily compressed to fit the limited storage space, resulting in a lot of tinny music. Combine that with engine noises that end up sounding like someone running a vacuum for 3 to 5 minutes straight, and some suspect audio balance because for some reason the music was real low and the audio for like your engines was real high, and you have a game that will leave players reaching for the mute button more often than not. Some tracks, in particular the one featuring the anti-gravity tunnels, are littered with obstacles that are nearly impossible to safely avoid. As a result, your craft will either take damage plowing through them or crash altogether. The idea of debris on a racetrack is not a bad one, but making any of it unavoidable is. If players aren't afforded a weapon to destroy the debris, then it should be small enough to provide clearance with a good race line. Placement of the asteroids in those anti-gravity tunnels made them more frustrating than fun, which is a shame because it was a cool area. The craft was no longer stuck to the ground, so you could move in, basically any direction, up, down, left, or right, but the asteroids were often so big, it didn't matter if you tried to move, you were still going to collide with them. The game allows players to rerun any completed tracks that they want, but they receive no money for repeating races if they had placed. Now, one thing that I failed to do when we were running the races today is you can actually adjust the winnings in each of the races that you compete in. When you select the race, there are 3 levels for what you could pick, which is basically like a fair balance where the first 4 racers get, a relatively close amount of money for placing. Skilled, which balances more money towards the top places and less for the bottom 2, which are third and fourth. And then there is a winner take all, where the only person that gets money is the person who finishes in first. We kept it on the most fair balance the entire run, but regardless of that, it doesn't matter how you have the money split. If you don't finish any higher than third or fourth, and you go back to repeat a race, you cannot get a better payout. I get it. It keeps players from abusing easy earlier races to amass a fortune, but as we saw on Road Rash 64 a few weeks ago, the simple solution is to provide a diminishing return for repeated races. Barring that, it's easy for a player to become boned by extreme craft damage and unable to be competitive until critical repairs are completed in an unfinished race. As far as I know, if you repeat an earlier race, your pit droids don't suddenly fix all the problems on your craft. In fact, I don't think they fix anything. You have to be completing unfinished races to get that to happen. As far as the ugly, it's probably for the best that this game is all about going very fast because it is one of the uglier games on the N64. The game keeps a fairly consistent frame rate, likely owing to the absence of other craft for the majority of the race, but polygonal counts and texture detail are kept fairly low, resulting in some very rough models. The crafts themselves look well detailed. Just don't look too close at their drivers or any of their the surrounding environments. The cantina that you walk in the very beginning of the game, very small, unimportant area in the larger scope of the game, but just an example of just how poorly they handled some of the texturing details in here. There's a section of the intro when you first walk in the cantina where a pit droid is seen walking away, and you're supposed to be wowed by, look at all the individual joints on it that it's moving. and it walks to go out the door, and the texture of the exit to go outside is so obviously just a flat wall directly in front of the droid that it really sticks out if you look too closely at it. And unfortunately, I played the game so many times that now I can't not see it whenever I look at that scene. But it's pretty obvious. They cut as many corners as possible to lower the texturing detail and the polygonal counts for everything. The primary game mode, Tournament, is pretty short. There's only 7 tracks per circuit and 3 core circuits that you can complete. I had mentioned in the gameplay that there were 21 total tracks. Actually, it's 25 because there is one additional invitational circuit that's consisting of 4 tracks, and you unlock those as you complete the separate circuits, the ones that you have to complete for the career mode. So in total, there's 25 tracks, which, if you aren't repeating races multiple times, takes roughly 4 or 5 hours to complete. I'm not sure what they could have done to extend that playtime, but it's worth noting that if you didn't own the game like I did, odds are you probably rented it, beat it, and took it back to the rental store the same day. Nitpicky, certainly, but that's why I put it in the ugly. It's a pretty short game, all told. Complicating the overall length of the game, Episode 1 Racer reuses tracks multiple times to pad out the total number available. Racing games in general aren't exactly known for having huge track counts, but this game is guilty of reusing courses and simply adding a few new side paths to them to justify revisiting the same planet multiple times. Some of them genuinely make tracks better, but some feel like a forced expansion of an otherwise good initial layout. Overall, I'm down on this design choice, but I understand they were likely limited by available storage space on the N64 card, so making one bigger track instead of 3 completely new tracks makes sense. But yeah, I would have preferred new tracks altogether. All right, let's go ahead and give the game a score. We do our score in Randars, 1 to 10. I like Episode 1 Racer quite a bit. It strikes the perfect balance between arcade and sim racing with its short tracks and limited lap counts, combined with elements such as upgradable parts and a damage system to incentivize more careful driving. Sense of speed does make races feel more tense, as clipping a wall or another racer with too much velocity can and will wreck your craft and potentially cost you the race. The game is constrained by the platform, so the graphics and sound are pretty rough, but the gameplay is more than enough to justify the playtime. I'm giving Star Wars Episode 1 Racer an 8 Randars. It feels weird to say that one of the better Star Wars games to exist is in fact a racing game, as racing wasn't really a core element of the franchise until it was featured in Episode 1, and then never again. The unique design of the podracers and an extremely well-crafted 15-minute scene in one film proved to be fertile ground for a game experience that was so beloved that no other sci-fi racing game has topped it, provided that the sales record I mentioned at the beginning of the episode is still accurate. I don't know if it is. I would be amazed if a Wipeout revival doesn't come along or hasn't already come along. That would outdo a 3.12 million sales record that Episode 1 Racer has. And that's probably not even counting the sales of the re-release that came out back in 2020. If the gameplay was shallow or the production rushed to meet the release date of the film, we likely wouldn't be talking about this game receiving a spiritual successor this year in 2026 in Star Wars Galactic Racer. If Episode 1 Racer had been a dud, racing in Star Wars games would have likely become a small gimmick, not a strong enough element to stand on its own. 8 Randars. It is still fun today, and it is readily available on modern consoles with touched-up graphics and audio. In fact, after I finished recording this episode, and yes, the final review here is being recorded in post, I actually re-downloaded my copy of the remaster and started playing it again, because this is a fun game. It's hard to imagine a franchise that has little or nothing to do with like a side, I don't know, gimmick like racing being as good as it is. It's almost like if Star Trek had become well known for having an amazing sim builder. Star Trek's not about building societies. It's about, a crew of basically naval officers going out and having fun out on the high seas, quoties of, deep space, and meeting new cultures, not building an entire world. But if they made a game like that and it sold gangbusters and was actually a really good game, who cares what it came from? That's kind of what applies here with this racing game in a franchise that has little or no racing aside from one segment in one of the, what are we at now, 12 films that have come out. But hey, it's good. It is still good. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Nubs Collection. As always, I do appreciate each of you watching, and I will see you next time.